April Fools, what's going on? You already know April 1st, some of the craziest stuff that you're going to see on the internet goes down today. By the way, I did have to change the background a little bit. New place, had to put some things together. So you guys get to see not my entire shoe collection, but a good majority of like the GRs and stuff. Like I have some like Dunks over this way, and then some Yeezys like going from top to bottom. I let Gridiron run the numbers on this, but I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like seven columns of like 13, and then like I think I'm gonna add one more column of 13. Look, we got a lot of sneakerheads in the community. Probably gonna try to chop it up with another one. I do not need to see his collection a little bit later, but I am actually so excited to get to chop it up with somebody that I feel like good dude in the community, good friend, and so on and so forth. Also, my guy Gridiron. He's going to be joining us for his Inside the Numbers segment. His, I guess it's like national now, since I had some coaches from other states hit me up and tell me that it was cool that their kids got some coverage. They took the clips and stuff like that. So, anyways, look, Flight Club will be here sooner than you know. It will be the end of June. Filling up fast, and coaches reaching out. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support. As you guys know, me and Gridiron, we are in schedule breakdown mode. So if you tag us in your schedule, you are going to get some sort of priority. But we are looking for the schedules that we also. It's important for us to break down. Also, I did see some stuff going on online. First off, I want to let everybody know, Gant, the quarterback from Tempe, long time ago, was really that guy, and not just on the football field, but also on the basketball court. Wildest thing that one of the wildest plays that I saw didn't even happen on the football field, and it was just a pass, a simple assist that he made. He got an inbound pass over there at Seton and threw a 94-foot pass for an assist, and he looked over at the crowd and just like kind of like stared them down. Every time I see him, I talk to him about this. I've seen him like 3 or 4 times since then. Talked to him on Twitter a little bit, but he's historical, legendary, deserves to be recognized, deserves more opportunities. But anyways, the only reason I bring that up is because there was a lot of chatter. There was a lot of people talking about, Chili's in the business of chili. Yes, there is some truth to that. Chili is in the business of chili, but for the record, promoting the kids, supporting the community, that's Chili's business. So yes, I'm in the business of chili, but in that business, so that everybody doesn't have this thing messed up, it's supporting those. My special guest knows a little bit about that, since we share a mentor. So we're kind of like brothers, if you will. We share a mentor who brought, I guess, kind of brought both of us into this environment and paved the way somewhat. So, I'll say that. So also, this was my favorite. This was possibly my favorite thing from today that I saw on the worldwide interweb. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get this. I gotta find it real quick. I'm looking for it on the computer. How does this work? I got like too many screens going. Okay. Oh, I found it. This was easily my favorite thing that I saw today, and I wish that this did not have to be a April Fool's thing, because this was absolutely incredible. And I personally would like to see this become a thing, if you will. ASU breaking the internet with this one. A new era for Mountain America. Say, yo, dude, the maroon field, we gotta have it. We gotta have it. ASU alum right here. Gridiron probably gonna hate a little bit because he's not ASU alum. He went to NAU, the Harbor of the Pines, as McCabe says. But my special guest, who's gonna come on here in a second, once his camera starts working, I'm gonna ask him what his thoughts are about this whole thing, because I think that that's just absolutely fantastic, and I just hope that we can make that thing work. Also, the Suns are absolutely bootylicious awful. That team is terrible. Whatever they did versus the Rockets actually didn't do. Wildly, just absolutely insanely crazy. Yes, blow up the team. Uh, Trade Durant to wherever. We're out at ASU practice today, spring ball underway. Talking to like Adam Beadle and the usual suspects, the Brad Denny's. Um, Trade Kevin Durant. If you got to send him to the Lakers, all good. He needs to go somewhere where he can be like the third wheel and just flourish. He would be the most efficient. Um, I'm going to say like 18 to 20 point per game guy in the league. And then some Booker to the Knicks, not a big deal. You can make that work easily, get some picks back and, maybe a little bit of talent. And, I think Booker would thrive in New York. I think that he would be an absolute alpha, be an absolute dude. And, I think like him and Carl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, I think that that would be a hell of a lineup to put out there. I just think that, he just might need a change of scenery. I think that New York would fully embrace all the rides and the fits and everything that Book puts together. Young guy, kind of ish, in the big city. I think that he. I think that look. I think that Book would want to be in the Garden for big games, doing Book things. I see Gridiron in the lobby shaking his head. He hates me already. Um, also, shout out to the Yankees. Those tornado bats are absolutely amazing, and we can talk a little bit. I'm definitely going to talk to Gridiron a little bit about that. Also, spring ball is underway. ASU had spring ball out there. Look, there I've seen a ton of kids out there coming out showing support. I've seen a ton of just fans out there on Saturday. It was absolutely lit. It was a lot of fun. Great environment, great atmosphere. Getting to watch the team do their thing, getting to see Coach Siegel, Saguaro alum. We talked about him on the show. Also, friend of the program, my guy Trenton Bourget, Coach Bourget. So Coach Siegel, Coach Bourget. Yeah, I would love to have one or both of them on the show. I got to try to see if I can politic and make that thing work. But would love some insight on their ascent, their climb to getting to do this. Um, Speaking of coaches, I do got a coach coming up here. Once I see his camera working, I'm gonna bring him on. And then also, I know that NAU absolutely been cooking with their spring period, making things very very interesting in the recruiting space because they're taking care of a lot of athletes and showing a lot of athletes how amazing it is up in northern Arizona. Um, okay. He's ready. He says he's ready. We're about to find out. My guest coming up, legendary locale guy, the one and only, shares a mentor with me, Coach Trace Carroll, Chaparral's own. So just hang out with your boy. 10 seconds. We're gonna bring. Coach Carroll, your camera is not working. We got the black screen. Are you there? My guy's killing me. He's still learning like the technology thing. It's tough. Like I don't think that people realize like the complications sometimes being a head coach, like all the things that you got to learn. Office wear, technology. But hold on. Um, just so we're clear, just so we're clear. Boom. That was him telling me that at the camera. Oh, he's. Oh, let me turn this around because he might curse and say something wild. But Coach Carroll's struggling to figure out how technology works, but that's okay because he's more of just a shoe guy coach. So he'll figure that stuff out eventually. Hey, Coach Carroll, try to relog in. Try to relog in because something's not working on your end. I can't say that it's my end because Gridiron is working perfectly. So just try to relog in. Gridiron's a master of like technology. So like if you need some help, I think y'all live like oh, you guys don't live kind of close to each other. But if you're at Chaparral, you're probably like a 15-minute drive for him, and he can stop through and pull up and teach you how computers and cameras and phones and things like that work. So yeah, so there's that. Anyways, while we wait for Coach Carroll to join the program, just a few things about him that I've noticed over the years. He does a great job working with the kids. Kind of diffusing situations, egos, things like that. Oh, there he goes.
It was
Coach, are you
working, I
good?
swear. It was working.
Oh,
I'm
it, it,
great.
it was not working. But look, it's a perfect time to show this graphic because you are back. Literally, you are back on the show finally. In more ways than one, actually, because you've been on the show before and we've talked about like your wild shoe collection, coaching, dealing with young superstars in the making, that you had a hand in. And I don't want to get too much into that because later on, me and Gridiron have a very, very special Coach Carroll segment planned. So I don't want to spoil that. So, Coach Carroll, you're going to have to hang out with us for a little bit as we do go through the
That's
spiel.
fine.
But you're back home. Like, this is low key. This was the job that you've always wanted. What was it like? What's the feeling? What's the last week been like for you?
It's been crazy, being back home, place the halls that I roamed when I was a kid. But it means everything to me and my family. I went to Cochise Elementary School and Cocopah Middle School that fed right into Chaparral. I'm Scottsdale Unified, born and raised. Um, it's my dad's been the PA announcer at Chaparral since 2002. My brothers and sisters all graduated from there.
Goosebumps.
Yeah,
Goosebumps.
it's been a whirlwind, and I can tell you, at one point my phone was up to 418 text messages just from alumni, coaching friends, friends around the valley. I'm down to 56. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. But it's been a crazy week. But we got to get going. We got to get started.
Hey, who hit you up first, Dillingham or Regal? Which one hit you up first?
So I got the job on a Saturday afternoon, and I didn't know if I got the job because the principal hadn't called me yet. But Regal tipped me off about 10 minutes before the principal called me, so it was Regal.
Oh man, that's awesome. Hey, so is it like, I know that this is going to be the Coach Carroll era, but is this going to be a return to the dynasty that Regal built? And how hard is it going to be for you to emulate some of that in today's day and age?
Well, the crazy thing about Coach Regal, I tell people all the time, I was there as a player and as a coach. He was kind of the first to do a lot of stuff, kind of the new age thinking of football around the state of Arizona, whether it was having some young hot shot DJ at games, or the youth program type of stuff. I mean, he was the first one to kind of do those type of things, and the people he had around him were great. I mean, two NFL GMs, ASU head coach, district AD. I mean, so like just the type of guys that were around the program, but I think what's great about me taking over is I understand the tradition and the tradition of excellence that was there and the standard we have to uphold as Chaparral Firebirds. So I'm going to take a lot of his tools that he brought to the table and try to reinforce those traditions back into the program that has been lacking and the community has been wanting. But there's no better person, I think, around the valley, maybe than probably Kenny, who could take over a program like this and know what it's all about.
Yeah, hey, I gotta ask, I gotta ask and put this out there publicly. So you guys had a juggernaut freshman team. I need to know who was the play caller for that freshman team as they were running up all the points. Oh, of course, his camera cut out so timely. Oh, Coach Carroll. Um, Coach Carroll, that's him ducking the question because he doesn't want to answer. I'll give you guys a little bit of the backstory as he figures out how to operate internet. So. Oh, he can hear me. Camera's not working, but he can hear me. Coach Carroll.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are you okay? So talk to me a little bit
Yes,
about
I can hear
about
you.
that situation. Juggernaut freshman team because Coach Regal was really ahead of his time. He always wanted to make sure that his freshman team kind of stuck together and made things work. And he had, speaking of young hot shots, he had two young hot shot coaches running his freshman program. Um, who is really in charge of that offense that lit the scoreboards up? Even, oh, Coach Carroll running from the question. Actually, you know what I think it is? And I'm not going to blame Coach Carroll for it because I do know that his phone has been absolutely crazy, blowing up with congratulatory texts and phone calls and stuff like that. I don't think he put his phone on DND. So every time like somebody calls or texts or whatever, Coach Carroll is probably dealing with his phone cutting out. Hey, Coach, you got to put your phone on DND, FYI.
I know people are calling me too. That's probably why.
Yeah, yeah. You got to put your phone on do not disturb.
Probably is.
That's a life hack for you. That's a life hack for you.
That is.
Thank me later, but don't mention it.
Yes.
Look, I know that you kind of got your start coaching lower levels.
Hmm.
You and another hotshot coach, Regal really took a chance on. But who really ran that offense? Who because you guys were absolutely destroying people. And Regal told me he's like, hey, you know what, Chill, you want to be ahead of the game. You should go cover freshman football. I waited about 6 years to start doing that, but I eventually did what he said.
You were too late there. You could have seen two pretty hotshot coaches. So the story goes, I mean, in 2000, I want to say 10, I believe it was, we had a pretty darn good freshman team, and Kenny was the offensive coordinator, led by the head coach Paul Germanero, and I was just an offensive line coach, and we scored a ton of
Okay.
points. We went 8-1. Okay, there's
Oh, you went. I thought you guys were undefeated for 2 years or something like that.
So we went 8-1. Only loss was to Centennial, where we had over 600 yards of offense, but we had 7 turnovers. It was our first game. But
Oh man, that's
that
incredible.
was led by Sean Paul Barofi, who went on to be a great quarterback for Chaparral, leading them to the state title in
Coach at
2000.
North Texas.
Yep. And then he was a big part of me getting this job. I couldn't. His reference letter made me cry. I could tell you that. Um,
For real.
Yeah, and then the next year, Kenny moved up to the varsity, um, as as he probably should have, and I took over the offense, and we had a young, strapping, in my opinion, the best two-way player, maybe
Easily.
ever in the state of Arizona, and the people who have seen him
Easily.
play, a young, strapping guy by the name of Kurt Sugar, who was it was pretty easy on offense. We just handed him the football, and he brought us to the promised land, and we went 9-0, including our last game of the season. Really put it on a team on Hayden that won't be named.
Oh, I see what you did there. So, I had Marcel Jones on the show last week. Um, uh, watch the tape. You might want to stop, wait, reverse the tape, and run that back. Hey, so much has changed since you played at Chaparral and worked under Regal and went off to Pinnacle to be super successful. How are you gonna straighten some of the things out at Shap that went kind of awry over the last few years?
I think one thing that the community aspect of Chaparral could be a good thing and a bad thing, right? But right now, the community aspect is kind of lacking, and but there is a ton of excitement with this new hire. I mean, I can't even tell you how it's been the first couple days, kind of being on campus. It's been a whirlwind, but the excitement level I think is back, and we have a really really good um, group of kids who want to be great. And I've met with every single one of the seniors this week, one on one, having one on one meetings, and they understand that there has been some things lacking from an culturally that that is they kind of own as players. And when they know that there's a problem, that's that's a good thing because I think the problem can be fixed faster. They always say the first way you know you have a problem if you have to admit that you have one. And they all kind of when I met with
The
them, they all
true.
kind of said the same thing. So getting the community back in, getting the youth program built up, I think us moving down to 5A is going to help us with the rebuild.
Does that disappoint you?
I mean, yeah, I mean it does because I've been coaching at the highest level for a long time. But I think that's something now that is a huge goal for us and my coaching staff that I'm bringing in is we want to get relegated up. We want to be so good that we get relegated up. and then all of a sudden we're playing in those top games, and then eventually getting back to a top 25 team in the nation playing those ESPN games. But this is just, we don't have any control in this. We got to go where we start, but it's a goal of ours by the time the next scheduling block comes around that we're back up in that 6A level.
Hey, before I let you go, obviously, everything happens on Twitter, and we all see it. You have a young athlete whose recruiting is absolutely going insane, and then you have a hot shot quarterback over there that I absolutely love, my guy Cam Allen. Can we expect like the old Chaparral days of running the bill up on the scoreboard? Not disrespectfully, just it's a thing that y'all like to do in North Scottsdale. So can we expect a lot of that, or is that what you're doing? Is trying to send a power surge through that scoreboard?
Well, me being an offensive guy, I would be lying to you if I tell you I didn't want to put a lot of points on the board. But we're definitely going to play some complementary football. The staff that we're putting in, we're going to get after the quarterback on defense and create turnovers to get our offense the ball back. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be around some very, very special athletes in my time. That's at Chaparral, my 2 years at Mountain Point, or that time at Pinnacle. I've had the ability to be around some really, really special kids. And just from what I've seen from all of our kids, I think we got some talent there that if we put the ball in space, we're going to get after that scoreboard.
Hey, are there any, old familiar names, maybe not familiar to everybody, but to like myself, like that we might see on your sidelines, like I don't know, like a Zach Skeen or a Andre Urigoyen, Andre Y, I'll just say Andre Y, um, Dylan Cousins, some legendary shop guys that, might come back to try to contribute to the coaching side of the program?
Yeah, I mean, I've
Kurt
had
Schugert.
that would be great. Kurt Sugar's probably the first guy actually I'm going to have in during spring. He's a Phoenix firefighter now, just to kind of talk to the guys. Our coaching hires aren't necessarily official, but we do have one kind of bigger name that's going to I can't probably say right now, I'll get in trouble. But once that
Oh,
name
it's Connor Brewer,
no, a little bit
quarterback
older,
coach.
back in my time, but he played a little time. I'll give you a little played a little time in the NFL, and maybe he was a Sun Devil as well. So, um,
Oh,
so
oh,
he's gonna be. I'm meeting with him tomorrow, and I think that's something that we're gonna be able to add to our coaching staff. But when I got the job, my phone blew up with a lot of those former players, the Zach Skeen, Andre, Connor Brewer, those type of guys. I'm going to bring those
Lucas
guys.
Petrullo.
Oh yeah, I'm going to bring a lot of those guys back just to talk to the guys, and I want them to know that there's always an open door policy when it comes to Chaparral football. This isn't just some guy who's taken over the program. This is one of their own, and I want them to own the program just as much as me. So the sidelines are going to be open to them anytime they want. The field house is going to be open to them anytime they want. I'm just really, really hoping maybe I can get an old DJ to come out and spin a couple tracks at practice. If you know him, can you give him a call?
I will. I will. I'll reach out. Hey, I try. I tried to tease it a little bit. Look, me and you share a mentor. We're like, we're brothers in that sense. Like, I don't remember specifically, but what I do remember is at the time when I was talking to Coach Regal about how tough it is to coach high school football and find volunteers and stuff like that. One of the first things that he did bring up, he's like, Chili, you'd be surprised because like I have some young guys that work harder than some of the guys that are assistants on my staff, that claim that they want to do this forever. And those are going to be the guys you'll be surprised, but those are going to be the guys that succeed and get the most out of this. And other than like Coach Amy and Coach Hamilton, he's absolutely right, because look at what you've done and what Dillingham has done, and the roads are absolutely crazy. So Coach, congratulations,
Thank you.
homecoming king, all that stuff. We're all so excited too, and um, I cannot tell you like how cool I think that this situation was. I called you and like it was goosebumps. It was goosebumps for real. And congratulations to you on this. And I know the wife and kid are super excited.
Yes.
Can't wait to see them. And it dripped out in that Chaparral. And by the way, somebody just texted me and said, "Is that the new Chaparral Firebird logo?" No, this is a Fear of God hat. I've worn it many times, But if Coach Carroll steals this and hooks me up with a shirt that looks like this, it's all good. So, hey, hopefully I'll be seeing you June 28th. I know you got some things to
Yeah.
work out with, Booster Club and kids and
Mhm.
schedules and things like that. But Coach Carroll, open invitation. You know the deal. All right,
Yeah, absolutely.
my man. I'll catch up with you down the line. Hey, better see you on a Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday for practice. Stop slacking.
I'll be there. Hey, C's up forever.
You, Man, he made sure to throw up that C's up forever. Hey, in about 2 seconds, I'm going to bring my guy Gridiron on, and we are going to break down some schedules. Super excited. This is one of my favorite parts of the year because me and Gridiron, we kind of have like a schedule of the way we want to do things. So, like in January, we're always going to break down a handful of sevens teams that get a lot of national attention. In February, we're going to talk about a variety of things. And then like in March, we're gonna prepare like for a variety of other things. But then we're gonna jump into schedule. We're gonna jump into schedules. That's like the best part. February, March, we're doing camps and Elite 11s and who did well at this thing, who did well at that thing. And then in April, we're breaking down schedules for a while. Obviously, then we move on to things like Flight Club and then spring athletes, because we did winter athletes. So we got to do our spring athletes. And then we jump right back into inside the number spotlight type things, which we might have tonight. So just stay tuned, hang out with your boy, and in 2 seconds I got my guy Gridiron Arizona, the one and only, with his inside the number segment, which is the most popular segment around the country. It's starting to be around the country now, because I did have some coaches hit me up saying, hey man, it's so cool that you showed our kids love and you're in Arizona. I was like, yeah, that's because we got some Arizona teams that are going to come after your guys, so it's no big deal. Anyways, coming back, 2 seconds, Gridiron Arizona. Boom! There he is. You might have to teach Coach Carroll how to operate technology, because he was really struggling
He was
to
on,
figure that
and
out.
he went black, and then he came back, so it worked out. It worked out all right.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it did. It did work out. I don't know if you got that, but it's all good. Hey, schedules are popping. There's a couple people that called us out. Listen, this is the thing. I am going to let everybody know, because I want everybody to understand this. If you tag me and Gridiron in your schedule release, be prepared, because if we don't tell you what you want to hear and we hit you with the 3 and 7, I don't want to hear, oh, y'all hate us and y'all didn't show us love. No, that's love. We put you on the show. Gridiron took the time to put you on his segment. That is love. It may not be the love that you want, but that is indeed love. So, with that being said, we got two super heaters here that I am so excited about. Should we start right away, or do you want to talk about how the Suns are junking and should trade Booker to New York?
Booker came out in an article today saying he does not want to leave Phoenix. So I don't think they're Booker.
It's about what's best for business.
To get Booker there for years.
Hey, don't put me and Stephen A in the same sentence, because that man is absolutely getting fried by LeBron. And
yeah.
I don't love LeBron, but and especially not now, since he stole Koa Pete from ASU. But don't put me and LeBron in the same sentence. Don't put me and Stephen A in the same sentence, because LeBron absolutely cooked that man. All right, I'm excited. So let's just get into these schedules. You know which one I'm going to do first? I'm going to do this one first.
No, I don't know which one.
Super excited about this one. I'm going to do Williams Field. I love what Williams Field has going on here. I think that this schedule's somewhat loaded. Can't really see it all, but Corona del Sol.
It's a little small,
yeah. They could do a little bit better here. Hopefully our next one is a little bit better, but our next one is just logos, so it's all good. Anyways, we got Corona del Sol up first, and it's really just the second one that's a problem to read. After that, we got I believe that's is that La Jolla? Who is that? No, that's San Juan Hills. Okay.
Yeah.
right?
They're gonna play Eastlake, Washington, but the game is at San Juan Hills, California, which is in
Eastlake. Sheesh.
It must be one of those, I don't know, showcase events, or I don't know that it is the Honor Bowl, but it's a thing that's similar to that, where they bring a few schools in, and probably play 3 or 4 games over the weekend, and teams from, so it's a true neutral site game. You get a team from Arizona against a team from Washington in Southern California.
All right, and then they come back home September 12th. They get Basha. So they'll have their hands full because that's going to be a tough game. After that, they are on the road at Chandler to see Coach Wisdom's, the new Chandler Wolves, Jai Jones and company, Will Menzel. This team is going to be fun to watch. This game is going to be fun to watch because I absolutely love what Williamsfield has going on. We'll get into the Williamsfield players a little bit later, but Jai Jones, Will Menzel and company, Jai Jones is going to be going both ways probably. Gridiron,
yeah, we'll see.
Break down this game a little bit.
I've been hearing about that in the offseason, about the going both ways thing. I know last year I looked it up that he really was only one way, but we'll see.
He was.
Usually Chandler has all kinds of numbers in the program, and they don't need to have anybody do that. They have plenty of guys to do the 2 platoon, if you will. This is, of course, the week after the Basha game, right above it there. And then, of course, you have the new head coach there with Ty Wisdom. You got Chandler coming off their first season of not making the Open, so kind of a prove it game there. I'm pretty sure this is the first time Williamsfield has played either one of those 2 schools, Basha or Chandler.
Really?
Well, they haven't been in 6A that long.
I think you're right,
and they weren't in the Premier Region, so they would have only played them in out as. I'm gonna look real quick and see. They've played Castile.
I'm gonna say you're right. The only reason they played Castile too is because they shared a region with them.
They played a non-region games too. In 20
versus Castile.
They were unless it was early in the season when they played Castile. It does not look like they played any of the Hamilton or they did play Perry in 2023 and last year. That was that game that was thrown in the middle of the region schedule that you had Williamsfield playing Perry, but it does not look like they've played Chandler or Basha. I mean they've only been in 6A since 2020. So this would be the 6th season of 6A Williamsfield football.
All right. Well, after what appears to be back-to-back toughies in Basha and Chandler, they get the friendly confines of their home, and they'll be seeing Desert Ridge, led by new coach Beeman over there, and Boulder Creek. After that, they get a much appreciated bye week. I think that'll be cool for them. And then after the bye week, they get to see one of our old friends, Coach Zadepski, and his Shadow Ridge squad.
Those 4 games after the bye is their new region.
That's absolutely insane because Shadow Ridge and Williamsfield couldn't be farther apart, but it's all good.
It's not. They weren't made geographically.
Look, it's not my job to make the regions, and I'm not mad at whoever did. It is what it is. Friendly confines. They get Saguaro back at home. After that, the big rivalry game, the black and blue game, if you will. They get to see our guy Justice Brathwaite and company over there. That's gonna be a hell of a game. The new Higley Penitentiary with Justice and Nassim Eason. Absolutely problematic over there. So hey, this is gonna be crazy. I know Higley has owned this rivalry
game once again too, because you had the years where Higley was down in 5A the last few years, and so they're back together in 6A, and they did keep these 2. It seems like in 6A they pretty much kept one team close by to be in your region with, and for Williamsfield it was Higley. It's not going to be the last week of the season like we've gotten used to seeing several times through the years, but it'll be the second to last game at Higley, and worth noting, Higley won this game 41-7 last year.
Dang, does this? Oh, man, that's tough. Okay. After that, they get to make the trip to Central Phoenix, and they get to
Yep.
play Brophy. That's going to be a tough game. Brophy looking absolutely
Could be the game that
really, really
decides
good.
the region there. You know, if they both get past Higley during the season, you know that could decide the region.
Yeah, yeah. Man, hey, this schedule's tough. Holy smokes. Um, Dang, right out the gates. You know what?
So you
Gridiron.
get so it's all six A
Before.
plus the Eastlake went 4-5 last season, which was a down year for them. They're a team that's been among the best in the state over the last several years, and of course last year that was when they were coached by Coach Hare up there at Eastlake.
Yeah. Hey, look. Coach Campbell's one of the best in the business. I absolutely love him, as a coach. I think he does a great job over there, running his program. Team's loaded, especially in the trenches. Joyner and Campbell, his son, in the trenches, really holding things down, which is going to be great for quarterback Don Barjona. That kid's gonna be absolutely fantastic, and he's really gonna have an opportunity as long as he has time and he can move a little bit. So that and Trey Smith could be absolutely electric. So I think that Coach Campbell and Williamsfield have a lot going on. Some sparks could happen on that offense, big plays. Gridiron, I'm gonna let you take it away and go inside the numbers on Williamsfield before we
Yep.
give our schedule, our win loss projections.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh.
So Williamsfield
This is tough.
4-7 last season. They made the first round of the playoffs. Gave Salpointe quite a battle in the first round before losing 31-28. They have made the playoffs in 15 of their 16 AIA seasons. Head coach Steve Campbell in his 19th year, all with Williamsfield, and they are in the 6A Central. Dominic Barjona, he'll be a junior next season. He shared the snaps last season as a sophomore, 55 of 98 for 932 yards, 5 touchdowns. He has a 4.67 GPA and is playing sevens, or played sevens for the squad here in the 7 season. A lot coming back on the offense. Look at the running backs. You got Q Skillings and Corshawn Hill. They both had solid seasons. Q Skillings 769 yards, 14 touchdowns. He's 6', 205. And Corshawn Hill 723 yards, 6 TDs, and 5'11", 210. So you got two guys that both you combine them there. You got 1,500 yards of offense out of the position. They will both be seniors next year. So a lot of experience coming back there. You mentioned Trey Smith, the wide receiver. He'll be a junior next season. 15 catches, 297 yards, and a TD as a sophomore. And then worth noting here, he broke the school record in the 100 meters here just last month. Ran a 10.63 at the Chandler Rotary. So certainly got a lot of attention with that one there. I believe that was the second fastest time for any Arizona 100-meter runner in the state so far this track season. And then the offensive line, you got to look at those guys. You got Colin Campbell, tackle 6'7", 270. He'll be a senior. 6'10" wingspan, 4.67 GPA. Has 23 offers, including Arkansas, Michigan State, UCLA, and Washington. You got Malachi Joyner, 6'4", 305. He'll be a senior. Another tackle, 6'4" wingspan. He can squat 535 pounds and bench 340. Has 7 offers so far, including Arizona, Utah State, and San Diego State. And then you got Omar Kaba, who's 6'4", 290. He'll be a senior. 6'9" wingspan, a 3.66 GPA, and offers from Montana, Utah State, and NAU. So you got 3 D1 seniors on that O-line. You got 2 running backs that return, and you got a quarterback who'll be a junior, but he does have experience, and then a burner as a wide receiver there to go tackle that schedule that we went over.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, I like them on offense. I think there's There's some question marks on defense a little bit, but this schedule's loaded. The schedule's absolutely loaded, and that being said, Gridiron, we'll go ahead and let you pick first.
Okay, I'm gonna go an improvement on last season's 4-6. I'm gonna go 6-4.
I like that. That's fair. You know what? I was gonna say 6-4 also. I promise I was.
Okay.
I think that there's some winnable games, and I think that they got some 50-50 games.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I am going to say is you know, I just got to put this out there. I think possibly seeing Basha and Chandler so early,
Yep.
that dose of competition could turn Higley or Brophy into a 50-50 game for them. So, you know, I think you get that experience of what it really looks like, what that competition really looks like. Plus, Higley's like the rivalry game, so it's kind of 50-50 anyways. So, you know, I just think that seeing those teams early, I think that you know is going to be, you know, it's going to set the tone for the rest of the schedule. So.
Because Basha certainly goes into the season, you know, a top 5 team,
easy top 3,
and then you got Chandler. We'll see where they are in the new regime over there. That'll be the 4th game of the season there against the Wolves.
No, man, hey, look 6-4. If they get 7-3, cool, and you know we did okay. If they get 5-5, you know we're not going to be calling anybody out saying like, oh my god, like you know whatever. So like. That's the way this works. 1 up, 1 down. You know, I really was close to saying 7 just because like I said, that Basha Chandler setup I really think does turn Higley and Brophy into potential 50-50 games. But I'm gonna stick with 6-4. I think that's a smart move. Plus, like you know, I just you know don't want to get. I just want to see some more things, mostly on defense. I want to see some more of those defensive guys, you know, what they're capable of. So I'll see some of that during the spring showcases and all that.
I would say they should be favored in 5 of those. I mean, I'm looking at the other 5 that aren't Basha, Chandler, Higley, Brophy. You know, I would think against the Arizona teams, I think they, at least right now, I think they'd be the favorite.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying for sure they should beat Corona, Desert Ridge, Boulder Creek, Shadow Ridge, and Saguaro. Look, Shadow Ridge is still going through the rebuild, right? Like they're probably like a year or 2 away from being where Coach Zadebski really wants them to be. That's the reality.
By the time we get to week 8, you know, these teams could look completely different, and maybe Williamsfield isn't the favorite at that point. But looking at it in the preseason, you know, here in April, 4 months before we get started, almost 5, I think that's kind of the way it looks as far as an early favorite in that game.
Hey, look, you're completely right because you know I had a bunch of people hit me up from Elite 11 and stuff like that, telling me that Marcel Jones at times looks like he could be you know a top 20 quarterback in the country. Like that's huge. That's like a huge statement. So like,
yeah,
I mean,
and he was out there at the Elite 11 there in Texas. You had him on the show last week, and
yeah,
if he and that new offense over there at Saguaro, you know, they got what, Norvell over there, right?
Mazzone.
I'm sorry, is it Mazzone? Yeah.
If they get Norvell over there, holy smokes.
I was thinking of Mazzone, yeah. But, you know, it could be a different look for that, and Jones is a guy that's played, you know, for the last couple of years at varsity, so he should be used to the speed of it and everything. And you know, if Saguaro turns it around like you know, like they certainly hope to do, you know, that might become a game there in week 9 where the SaberCats are the favorite, you know, coming in. But we got to see it first.
Hey, look, Marcel was super humble about it when I asked him, but like the reality is you know, we've seen what Mazzone does with a athletic dual threat quarterback. He did it with Jamar Malone. Obviously, that was done at the 5A level or whatever, but got a state championship out of it and 5,000 yards of offense. I'm not saying that it translates and he's going to get 5,000 yards in the 6, but you know he might be able to get the 4.
Receiver over there in Armstrong as well.
Yeah, they got a couple dudes. They got a nice little tight end over there. Anyways, this is not the Saguaro segment, so
it's just guys to look out for Williamsfield there.
100%. Don Barjona, fantastic quarterback. I believe in Dom, and I think that he's going to be absolutely great, a great leader for this
Be a
program.
breakout season for him his junior year.
100%. And he was there quarterbacking that freshman team, so like he can lead these guys. These guys are his guys. So I think that being said, him, Trey Smith, like those guys are going to combine to do some spectacular things with Coach Campbell, with and for Coach Campbell. So moving on, we are going to break down another schedule because we're going to break down two schedules every night. And here's the second one. Second one I am super excited about, and here we go.
So, but before we jump into this, so was Barjona the quarterback of the freshman team when he was a freshman?
He was the quarterback of the freshman team when he was a freshman.
Because I'm looking at this here, that team only lost one game.
That team lost one game to
Chaparral, right at the beginning of the season.
They lost. Oh yeah. They lost that loaded Marcel Jones-led Chaparral team.
That team of 22, the football season of 22, class of 23, or would be the football season of 22, be what the class of 26. They beat Higley 62-23 that year, and obviously some players might come and go as it does now.
They did.
Yeah, that they had that matchup there in freshman year in 22.
And yes, they did, and I will tell you, if memory serves me correctly, I don't think Campbell or Joyner were on that team because they're seniors. So.
No, you're right. They would not have been. It would have been Trey Smith would have been on that team.
Yeah, Trey Smith was on that team.
Yeah, you're right, because those other guys would have been sophomores. Yes.
Yeah, and now the line being somewhat of a strength for Williamsfield, like obviously it's academic. Barjona's going to get the opportunity.
Anytime you have a good line, it helps your offense. You're going to get sacked less. You've got a running game. That's going to be able to make people key on that position instead of just, going and targeting you on blitzes and stuff. It keeps the defenses honest, and it could be a big offensive season for them.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm excited. I'm excited for Williamsfield, even though Coach Campbell is always very mad at me every time I show up on this campus. But that's neither here nor there. I still love Coach Campbell, and I got to see Coach Campbell and son over at an ASU game this past year, and showed Colin some love on the app. So
Campbell ASU nice. Alum.
Yeah, Campbell ASU alum. So you know the deal, and I just try to support the kids. So anyways, as we move on, look, there's sometimes questions because it was said on Twitter today that Chili's in it for chili and in the business of chili. So hey, look, and I'm not denying, and Gridiron, I am not denying that. But the business of chili is supporting the kids. So yes, chili is in the business of chili.
I see the pictures every week. Yeah.
But it's all good. It's all good. Anyways, as we move forward, Mountain Point. I am so excited.
You have in really small print underneath of it, we do have the names, and I do have my own schedule written in if we have trouble.
Oh my goodness! That is the finer print. All right, it looks like we are starting off with Maricopa.
Yep.
829. We got Maricopa.
Those are the home games in maroon.
Yeah. Okay. So we're starting off with Maricopa at Mountain Point. We move to the second game of the season. We're getting this kind of early. The Tukey Bowl.
The earliest we've ever had it. Week 2. Yeah.
Is this is Desert? But Desert Vista is still 6A, correct?
Right, but Mountain Point's not.
Yes, Mountain Point's 5A.
So that's why it has to be. That's why it had to be the first half of the season, because Mountain Point's going to have their region the second half.
But they couldn't make it like the last game of the first half of the season.
I don't write the schedules.
Why, Gridiron? Why?
There's a lot of rivalry games that we are not going to get this year, especially in the CUSD. I'm glad that they kept this rivalry and that they're still going to do it.
Yeah, this used to be known as the Zach Elvira Bowl, and You
I
know,
don't think there's ever been a year that there wasn't a Tukey Bowl played. They played it every year since I think Desert Vista was the second school to come on, right?
yeah, yeah, yes, yes. Um, and Arizona wide receivers coach Bobby Wade swears that this is the biggest rivalry in Arizona. I'm not sure.
1997. There was a time when I would put it in there, but I wouldn't put it there right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll tell Coach Wade you said that.
Hey, you gotta bring it.
Well, he might yell at you, but it's all good.
I've
He'll have to
been
yell
to a
at you on
Tukey
X.
Bowl in its heyday. Yeah.
Have you been to a Tukey Bowl recently that has more than 15 people in the crowd on Mountain Point side? No? Okay, cool. All right. So, anyways, Desert Vista's week 2.
Mhm.
Desert Vista's week 2. Week 3 looks like we got Mountain Ridge.
Yep.
That's Coach Johnson's Mountain Ridge team, so that should be a lot of fun.
Right. Mhm.
After that, we got looks like we got Desert Mountain.
Yep. Desert Mountain.
That should be exciting. I love Ryan McDonough over there at Desert Mountain. I think that he's
Yep.
absolutely a spectacular, going to be two-way superstar for Desert Mountain. I think that
And a
he's a
two-way
super
guy.
talented wide receiver. And last year, I think he focused mostly on defense. Coach Hamilton is a defensive savant and an absolute textbook of
Desert Mountain, of course,
football
an
knowledge.
open team last year and been one of the top 5A teams.
And they got robbed.
Jesus.
They got robbed. I'm sorry, Coach Hall, ALA Queen Creek. I'm sorry. Desert Mountain got robbed on this one play that happened late in the game.
Oh, in the playoff game, the open, yeah.
Yeah, and you know it is what it is. The refs make the calls on the field. It is what it is. But I will say, like, Desert Mountain was absolutely fantastic. They got some things that they got to replace, but I'll let you go inside the numbers and break this down a little bit. Desert Mountain and Mountain Point, week 4.
And then you got Desert Mountain team that if they have a great season, they will get to be in the 5A playoffs this year because they are not going to be part of the Open.
Yes, so you know they will get this opportunity to they had an opportunity last year and they had an opportunity the year before. Coach Hamilton does a great job running his team, so this is going to be a lot of fun. This is a hell of a matchup, and I can't wait to see what the results of this are. After that, not circled is 926. Going all the way to the west side.
Yes.
And you can't spell west side without the DE.
The
so
champs and
the defending champs.
Yep, the defending champs of the 5A tournament, and then obviously expected, I would think, to be the number 1 team coming into the season in 5A. You got Mountain Point now, the newcomer. This is the first time that they've ever been in 5A. They've always been in the top division. So this is going to be, kind of a little litmus test there to see where they're at compared to the best of 5A, and then before they get into that region schedule to see if they can get into the playoffs and then go, take on these really great teams once again, like having Desert Mountain and Desert Edge back to back.
This is a tough stretch. Those first 3 games, I think, I think we might lean Mountain Point a little bit, but those next 3, starting with Desert Mountain and then Desert Edge on the road, and then a hot ACP team from last year, who I know it's new coaching, but it is what it is. They were playing in Sun Devil Stadium and they looked fantastic up until that last game. That's a tough stretch.
This is the start of their region play. We talked about Mountain Point coming down from 6A. Of course, you have ACP coming up from 4A. This is the first time that they will be up in the 5A level at all. So it'll be interesting to see how they do against, jumping a level.
Well, we're going to find out. And then after ACP, they get Campo Verde at home, and Campo Verde has Jake Jones leading that defense, and he's an absolute juggernaut of a defensive player. Gridiron, I'll let you talk about Campo Verde a little bit.
And Campo Verde is the defending champion of this region, which is the 5A Santan region. They won region last year, and they're going to want to be looking to try to win it again. And Mountain Point, the newcomers into this region, and so it should be a good test right there. And it could be one that has an impact in the region and in playoffs.
Man, that game's gonna be brutal. After that, looks like they got Gilbert and Skyline on the road.
Yep.
And then they close things out on Halloween versus ALA Gilbert North.
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh.
And that's and that's another team right there that we figure to be in the mix in that region. So you got ALA Gilbert North, you got Campo Verde, and then you got the mystery that is Mountain Point and ACP, and then you have Gilbert and Skyline in there also. And so that's where I think you kind of stack up with the region is I think you got Campo and ALA Gilbert North, and then you got the where will ACP and Mountain Point end up, and then I think we would expect Gilbert and Skyline to be the bottom part of that region, but you never know.
Yeah, well, I think. Oh, hold on, real quick. Checking in. Our guy Eric Newman, who thinks that you're the most handsomest guy in Arizona media. Appreciate y'all. Hope all is well out west. Hey, just in case y'all not familiar, Eric
We're
Newman used to.
national on the show here, yeah.
We are national. Eric Newman used to hold down the west side.
Mm-hmm.
Then he moved up north and held down the north side. And now he headed to the Midwest, literally, not in Arizona, but he's in Wisconsin,
Yep.
holding down the state of Wisconsin. So holding down the Badgers. So there's that. Super excited for him, and
Wisconsin,
he's got a lot of cool things.
Women's hockey won the national championship.
Did he break the scoop? Did he break that to you?
I don't know if you got to cover that one or not, but I caught that.
I'm sure he did. But we love Eric Newman. We love Eric Newman. I don't know if they're doing this or like that weird thing. I don't know. Anyways, but shout out to Eric Newman, one of my favorite sports media people. Stayed through the grind, and when times got hard in it, joined that Arizona varsity juggernaut team. And really took advantage, and then made the move up north. So I thought that was really cool. His story in media is absolutely amazing. So great follow. Like I said, one of my favorite people. So shout out to Eric. And as we move on, we do got to do some projections on this Mountain Point.
Before we do this, I do have last year's projection sheet. We previewed 19 teams. We started the first week of April, so this is the same exact week we started doing it. And I had Mountain Point 7-3. You had them 8-2. The Pride finished 6-4. So and I still got
so you definitely got.
I still got my breakdown of Mountain Point before we do that too.
Well, true. I definitely would have said 7-3. If I knew that my man Butter Tollefson was coming through, because of the change in quarterback and things like that, and you never know how those dynamic things work. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I probably would, if I would have known Butter was coming in, but not knowing the madness that surrounded that whole situation.
Was crazy. Yeah,
I probably if he came in before
like
week
Labor Day
one,
weekend was when then all went down.
It was so insane, and he was going to play this game, and then he wasn't going to play this game. I probably would have said 9-1 though, honestly. Like if you would have told me that he was going to play the whole season, I would have said 9-1.
How's he looking out in practice?
He's competing. Looks like he's kind of competing for that third spot. It's him, Navi, Christian Hunt, and why did I feel like there was somebody else, but there's not. I don't think anybody's taking the job from Sam Levitt. He was pretty good.
No, I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of young guys there.
There is, but there's also two old guys there. Well, a returner in Sam Levitt, who's going to be an All-American, and then obviously like Jeff Sims is back to finish it out. And I think that Jeff Sims is locked in at number 2 right now. And like I said, I think it's Navi, Butter, Christian competing for that third spot. I think that I know that the other freshman quarterback receiver kid wants to compete at Dyer from New Mexico or something like that. He was a Gatorade Player of the Year or something like that. I think.
So I would imagine that Navi redshirted last year then, so he's still got 4 years.
He does. He does. And he's still navigating through it and figuring it out. So I think that this will be super interesting, and I'm not sure how this is going to end up playing out. But look, Butter is super athletic, and we're going to talk about Butter for a second, just because we're talking about Mountain Point.
Yeah.
Super athletic, great feet. The kid can move, so I think what he's going to end up doing his first year is flourishing in a package situation, a gadget type guy, the quote unquote Sparky formation guy, right?
Uh-huh.
I think that that's going to be his job. So we'll see how that all works out. And, I think that he'll be okay. This Mountain Point team, though, let's get back to this Mountain Point
Yep.
team before they get restless.
Let me break it down here.
New coach over there, Coach Roberts, who I absolutely love, making the trip from Vista Grande. They got a quarterback situation over there. Christian Escobedo, who I've seen at camps and in sevens and things like that, putting in the work. Geo invite only camp, things like that. I think that he's looked absolutely spectacular in the times that I got to see him, and I got to see him compete last year before the season at Under Armour. He checked in this year at a next gen camp, right at I think like 5'11 and a half or something like that. So he's grown. And I know that they have another quarterback over there that you brought up before, Kamar Lee, super athletic kid. I just haven't seen as much from him in the off-season stuff. So I don't know. But what I can say is Christian has looked like he's ready to, quarterback a varsity football team here in the state of Arizona. Mountain Point obviously going to be the one for him. Also, their offensive line looks pretty legit. Just like Williamsfield has 3 guys returning that look special. So does Mountain Point. They got Thomas Cheese, which is Washington, Tyreek Washington, and then they got another kid, Charles. I cannot remember his name, but I'm pretty sure you have it. And then on defense, they got Coulter and Marley Feli. And then they got arguably one of the best kickers in the state in Orduno. So I think that this team looks respectfully loaded for the 5A. I think that they look like they're going to be okay. I know that they got some guys that are going to make the jump to varsity. They got a kid Gio, and then a wide receiver Gio, I think, and then also Rodriguez, who those kids look great. So I think that Mountain Point's got some pieces. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch. Why do I want to say that the offensive lineman that I can't think of is Charles Stone?
Charles Lott?
Like, but Charles Lott, that's what it is. Okay, congratulations. Gridiron for saving your boy. Anyways, Gridiron, I'm going to let you take it away. Go inside the numbers on this Mountain Point Pride 2025 team.
Yep, this team went 6-5 last season. They made the first round of the playoffs, lost 46-7 to Pinnacle. They have made the playoffs in 14 of the last 16 seasons. Head coach John Roberts, his first year with Mountain Point, was the head coach at Vista Grande. They are in the 5A Santan region. Both of last year's quarterbacks were seniors. We talked about Butter. Christian Escobedo will be a junior. He previously started at Tolleson before coming to Mountain Point. And Kamar Lee will be a senior. He previously started at Sierra Linda before coming to Mountain Point. Both quarterbacks went to Mountain Point last year, so neither one of them will have to sit any games. So, it looks like it might be a battle right there for who starts at the outset. At running back, no player that had 100 or more varsity yards last year returns. So maybe you have Jameer McKinney in there. He played 2 games as a freshman. That's kind of a to be seen. And then at wide receiver, you have Michael Porter, who will be a junior. Had 10 catches, 156 yards last season. I mentioned the offensive line. In addition to Charles Lott and Tariq Washington, you have Aaron Thomas. 6'6", 295, has 20 offers, including Texas A&M, Arkansas, Minnesota, and Washington. He plans to visit all 4 of those schools between April and June.
Hold on. I thought I saw. Didn't he commit?
No. Aaron Thomas hasn't committed.
I thought I saw somebody committed.
Yeah, we've had about 6 commits so far in the 26 class, but no. Aaron Thomas will be a senior. Has not committed anywhere. Jalen Coulter, linebacker, 6'2", 195, led the Pride in tackles last year. 122, had 2 forced fumbles. He has 7 offers, including UNLV, Duke, and ASU.
Okay. All right. We got this is gonna be a lot of fun. This is my favorite part of the show. This is my favorite part of the show. I think
I looked it over too, but while you had Coach Carroll on there, we each hit about 6 or 7 on the nose last year out of the 19 teams.
6 or 7. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean that means that we're about average.
Yeah.
That's average. I feel like that's the average. Look, one up, one down.
Most of them we were within 1, but I'm just saying exactly. We each hit like 6 or 7.
All right.
Neither one of us had Marana going 10-0. We both had 8-2.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had that South Point game. They had Higley.
Yeah. Okay. Well, letting y'all know that sometimes we get it wrong. All right.
Yep.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep this 100% true for everybody out there. Trill meaning real. I think Desert Edge is going undefeated this year in the regular season, so I'm gonna leave that there. That means that Mountain Point, the best that they can do is 9-1 in the regular season.
Yeah, we only pick a regular season.
So I am going to say that I'm going to go back-to-back years. I love this staff that Coach Roberts has put together. I am going to say that Mountain Point is going to be 8-2 and protect myself here, and I'm going to have them at 8-2.
Wow. Okay. I think they're going to get off to a good start those first 3 games.
Okay.
And then it's going to kind of depend on how this offense gels. Because unlike Williams Field, they don't have as much experience coming back. I'm going to go a little under that. I'm going to go 6-4, which would equal last year. And then also we should mention that the 5A is going to a 24-team playoff here this season. That's why you don't see a bye week on there. Their season's going to end a week before the 6A. And then they're going to have what's called their play-in games that final week of the 6A season, but we'll call them playoffs because as if you lose, you're out, and if you win, you get to keep playing. And then they'll have a regular 16 team. It'll be top 8 will get buys, and then 9 through 24 will be playing that first week in the first round, and then they'll finish obviously the same weekend as the 6A in the Open.
Yeah, man. Oh man. I just got to ask.
I think 6-4 gets them in the playoffs with Desert Mountain, Desert Edge on that schedule. Right there, because you got to finish 24 out of 49 teams.
So showing your hand, you think that they're? I'm just guessing. Just yes or no if I'm right, and if I'm wrong, I'm not going to ask you again. I am guessing that you think that they'll lose Desert Mountain, Desert Edge, Campo Verde, and ALA Gilbert North.
Okay, that's pretty spot on there because I kind of broke down where I thought everybody was in the region.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sheesh. Okay. So me and you, I don't think me and you usually disagree that big. That's a two games is a pretty big
spread.
Big
let me
gap.
look it over here real quick. Last year, and I don't think I'll give you credit on one. Last year, Cesar Chavez, you had him 7-3. I went under at 5-5, and you hit that one on the head at 7-3. So
I do that. I do that sometimes.
That was the only 2-game spread that we had last year. Everything else we were either the same or within 1 of each other.
Well, good news for Mountain Point is that when we have a 2-game spread, your boy Chili usually gets it. So there's that. Hey, we do got something super special, and I kind of teased it already. We do got something super special planned. I can't wait. This is one of my favorite guys in the business. So I really wanted to take this opportunity, and we did this for a handful of coaches who have gotten this opportunity. So, are you ready? Are you ready?
Ready.
Inside the number spotlight segment, he gets his own yellow pad opportunity. which doesn't happen all the time for our coaches.
No.
But here you go, the one and only Coach Carroll. He's put in the work, been around the valley, done a lot of things. I absolutely
Black
love
and
the
red?
guy. Black and red till he's dead. You know the deal. Inside the numbers segment, the spotlight. Chaparral football head coach. I didn't know if I was ever gonna say that. Chaparral football head coach, the homecoming king, Trace Carroll, using his human name. Bam! You see all the stats and numbers right there. I'm not sure what you have to add or what you want to talk about, but played for two esteemed coaches. Started coaching at Chaparral Young, brought that up. Championship championship stuff on his resume. Coaching experience, all that good stuff. Notable players coached at Chap, at Pinnacle, Gridiron. Go ahead and do your thing.
You probably have some of this stuff on there. Unfortunately, in my high level of technology, I watch the show on my phone, so it's even smaller than what you see on your big giant computer monitors. So some of this might be repeating of what's on there. You got Trace Carroll, the new head coach at Chaparral, selected after both a local and a national search. Of course, a former Chaparral player and a former Chaparral assistant coach. Was an offensive lineman. His senior year was in 2000, the fall season of 2008. That team went 12-2, played for the 4A title. Has 15 years of coaching experience, which started at Chaparral the very next year after he graduated in 2009. Was a Chaparral freshman assistant, eventually became the varsity offensive coordinator in 2016. Then he went to Mountain Point, and then for the last 6 years, he's been at Pinnacle as the passing game coordinator and the quarterback coach. He was on the staff for the Chaparral run of 3 straight titles in 2009, 10, and 11. He has coached 4 college quarterbacks while at Pinnacle. He had J.D. Johnson, Devin Dampier, Zach Wren, and Wyatt Horton.
Absolutely crazy. Listen, one of the things that makes Coach Carroll so special is his ability to communicate with the players and the parents.
That's important.
You know,
That's important now.
That is absolutely important. When he's had the opportunity to work closely with a superstar player, he's often been relied upon to be that guy. He was a tight end coach over at Pinnacle with Deuce Robinson there. When Deuce and Miles and all those guys were there, and how are we going to divvy up the ball and spread this thing around and make this thing work? Then when a high-profile quarterback transferred in,
the team played for a 6A championship too.
Yes. And then when a high-profile quarterback transferred in to Pinnacle, mysteriously or whatever, Coach Carroll was asked to move to run the quarterback room, and he was able to juggle the high-profile quarterback. I'm not going to not say his name because I think Dylan Raiola was special. Dylan Raiola spent the spring over at Pinnacle in a quarterback battle with Wyatt Horton, and Coach Carroll was trusted with the unique opportunity of handling the #1 player in the country and one of Arizona's favorite quarterbacks, super talented Wyatt Horton, who had just taken that team to a championship game
his sophomore
year. So Coach Carroll was trusted to handle that situation, which I think speaks volumes about him, since Pinnacle could arguably be considered the QBU of Arizona high school football with Dampier.
Years, I would agree with that. Yeah.
With Dampier, Lewerke, Rattler, and J.D. Johnson all having been there. Lewerke and Rattler both having time in the NFL. J.D. Johnson now coaching, or was coaching for a second over there up at Michigan. Dampier, obviously, we all know that he's over there at Utah, collecting that NIL check and getting ready to potentially be in that Heisman conversation. Yeah, doing his thing. Like, we all knew that he could. So, anyways, I just think it speaks volumes of Coach Carroll, who he is, and how highly Coach Zupke thought of him. So, look, man, I think that, he's going to have this opportunity over there at Chaparral, and I'm going to put him on the same 2-year plan that we gave Kenny Dillingham over at ASU. So, Coach Carroll's officially on the clock, and he's got 2 years to get this thing right. Hey, year two.
I'm not sure that he gets to load up in the portal as easily as Kenny does.
I mean, you'd be surprised how that high school portal.
Yeah, I know. And then you get over Wyatt Horton. One thing about him, out of all the guys, if you add up their passing yardage over the last 3 years, guys that have played varsity all 3 years, Wyatt Horton ranks number 1 at 7,939 yards.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. Wyatt Horton's really.
Of course,
one of
he
the
started
best.
all 3 seasons, so that helps. But yeah,
definitely doesn't hurt. Also doesn't, and this is a testament to Wyatt because he went from, and I know everybody thinks that this is easy. He went from Miles Lidman and Deuce Robinson, and like it's not, dude. That is so difficult to. I mean, I know you'd rather have that at some point in your career, but to start out with that and then drop off because there's I don't care who you are, what program it is, there's going to be a drop off.
Oh yeah,
there's absolutely 100% going to be a drop off.
A quarterback that's younger than, the guys that he's throwing to, or his running backs in some cases, and then they're gone, and then the quarterback's got to carry the load.
No, for sure. Man, I think that this is going to be such a fun situation to monitor. I think a lot of us are going to be super tuned into this, and
as he mentioned, they're in the 5A now, just like Mountain Point. Chaparral has moved down. It's a combination of record and enrollment. If your enrollment was at a certain level, you were kind of taken more into consideration to move down. But I mean, you heard him say it. He wants to get the wins going and get the program going to where they get promoted the next time that they do realignment, which would be before the 27 season. And who knows? You could see Chaparral and Saguaro back in a region together. We do know that they are going to play each other, just like Mountain Point and Desert Vista are doing.
Well, Marcel Jones.
That might be a week 2 game too. That is week 2. So week 2 you have the Tukey Bowl and you have Chaparral and Saguaro.
I hope one of them moves to Thursday night football so bad. I hope one of them. That's absolutely insane. All right, so Gridiron. What is it? I know that you probably want to talk about baseball, but let's talk about some basketball first.
Handed the Yankees their first loss tonight.
Yeah, I know those tornado
bats. 5 home runs in 5 games.
Man, those tornado bats weren't
really
working
out. Don't even need a torpedo bat. Yeah.
Tornado. Oh man, I think that whole thing's crazy. Hey, but let's talk about basketball. Let's talk about basketball since we're finishing up basketball season. And baseball season is just kind of starting. Your guys are out of the playoffs right now.
They're a couple of games out of the playoffs right now.
Last I checked.
And this road trip, they lost tonight in Milwaukee.
Brutal.
This road trip still goes to Boston and New York. Yikes!
And
Kevin Durant is not on the trip, so
it's over. The Suns won't make the playoffs. I think that was won't make the
exclamation point. I mean, mathematically it's not, but I think that was kind of the exclamation point from that Rocket game on Sunday night.
There was a game?
And the bad thing is they can't just start shutting down players and tanking because
why not? The Mavericks did.
I'm sorry, Houston has their pick. That's why Houston was so motivated to keep pouring it on because they're like, all right. We get their pick.
Man,
the Suns have first round pick, which will be in the high 20s or higher. So,
all right. Well, we've talked about this numerous times. We know that Kevin Durant's on the move. Doesn't matter where he goes. You don't think that there's any chance that Booker's available?
I think he's going to stick it out.
Even though it means that he may retire without a championship ring ever.
I think he likes being admired in Phoenix. And if he went somewhere else, he'd be, he might have the pressure of, having to be the guy to turn it around kind of thing. and he's adored
That's
here.
fair.
He's the all-time leading scorer here. He's the top of a lot of the franchise bests and things here. I think he's going to stick it out.
Okay. That's fair. All right, let's move to baseball for a second. There's a lot of excitement with the Diamondbacks and stuff like that, or whatever. They just beat the Yankees. Your thoughts long term? I'm not going to make a projection yet on if I think they're going to lose 100 games or something like
Dodgers
that.
might never
But
lose. They've come out of the block 6-0, and I don't think they're going to. I don't think the Diamondbacks are going to win the division.
they look
but I think
good.
they can be one of those 3 wild card teams.
I don't disagree yet. I don't disagree yet. I think I'm definitely more optimistic about the D-backs than I am about the Suns.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
The what's it called, real quick, as we move through sports in the Valley, the April draft is also coming up. The Cardinals,
Cardinals
uniquely
picking.
positioned.
I think it's 16 is where they're picking, which is
yeah,
as high as they've been picking, which is a reminder that they have been improving.
enough for you to still want to keep Kyler Murray, like long term. Like, is that like a gridiron thing?
He already is signed long term.
No, I know, but like you don't want to see him. I don't know. Traded?
I don't want him to draft a quarterback in round 1. No.
I didn't say draft a quarterback round 1. I said
they brought in Jacoby Brissett to be the backup, and Jacoby Brissett's he's no threat to start. I kind of wanted him.
No, definitely not.
I wanted them to bring someone in to push Kyler Murray, but they didn't do that.
Okay.
So Brissett
kind of what I'm asking.
Start if Kyler's hurt. So.
Kind of what I'm asking. I saw somebody. I think they asked like Chat GPT about like Marvin Harrison's like career or something like that, and it seemed pretty spectacular. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it said like year 5 or 6 for him. The Cardinals are going to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if that's something that you saw, GPT, but
there you go.
I would look it up. Marvin
was kind of knocked a little bit just because he wasn't, he didn't put up the numbers that a few other first rounders did, including the one that plays for the Giants. But Malik, yeah, I mean he had a big season. But if you look at it, I mean, compared to what Fitz's numbers were his first year, they were very comparable.
No, they were. And
less happy league now than Fitz's first year. But I think they're on the right path, and I don't think he's certainly not going anywhere right now. He's under a rookie contract, so.
No, for sure, and he does also look very, very special, just like Fitzgerald did. So I'm excited for the Cardinals folks. I'm excited.
Yeah. I mean, I think,
and also they have a tight end that's really good. So.
I mean, they either need a pass rusher or an interior lineman with that 16 pick. So.
Okay. I like the way Gridiron's thinking.
That's kind of what they need. So.
All right. Hey, next week
do that and take the first wide receiver off the board when they pick number 3. But this year they won't be doing that. So.
Look. You had to take Marvin Harrison.
Oh, I was fully on board.
Absolutely. This wasn't a questionable pick like the year that they drafted like Kyler Murray, when I thought that they should have taken somebody else, but no big deal.
Well, the only one you could argue that they should have taken was Bosa,
which I argued that they should have taken, just like I argued that the Suns should have taken Luka. So just want to be clear. Where I stood on both of those situations. Luka is helping the Lakers make a push to possibly a championship, and I don't know what Ayton's doing. He's.
Do you really think that? Do you think the Lakers can really win a championship?
I don't know if they're going to win a championship, but I think that they're going to compete in the playoffs and maybe take a round, maybe 2, maybe find themselves in the Western Conference Finals. I think that's very, very. A legitimate prediction without being like an optimistic homer type, because I'm not really a homer, but I am a Luka fan. I do put that out there. I think Bronny's going to get some quality playoff experience. So there's that. But look, It is what it is. Suns are blowing their situation up. Me and Gridiron's gone over that. And
move up to 3 because if they stay at 4,
agreed,
or fall to 5, they're going to run into OKC in the second round. I don't think they're going to beat the Thunder.
Yeah, I don't think the NBA wants to run the risk of getting the Thunder and the Cavs in the finals. So I think that they're going to try to make sure one of those teams is eliminated early.
Celtics might get some calls.
So I think that one of those teams is in danger of losing their second round matchup and very, very badly. So I think that it's OKC that should actually hope that the Lakers climb up to 3 because they don't want to see them be the 4 and get them in the second round. Right. That's my opinion. But hey, Gridiron, I always appreciate you jumping on the show and doing your thing, running the Inside the Numbers segment. Next week, 2 more schedules. 2 more teams. And look, guys, if you guys post and tag us, and you will get somewhat of a priority pick. Both these guys tagged us in
our schools for next week yet.
No, we have not, and that is always a surprise. Usually done the day before or the day before that, which is Sunday. So y'all know. just so y'all know. And I will most likely be in Dallas for OT7 this weekend, so I'm going to be watching Tucson Turf.
Can be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Tucson Turf will be out there, and I'm going to make it out there to watch them on day 2. So, your boy Chili just traveling and got the new setup going a little bit. There's a lot of shoes in here.
I see that. Yeah. Showing them off this time.
Yeah, I mean, I just look, I'm a man of a few hobbies. One of them is collecting shoes. So here they are behind me, and everybody can take a look. Gridiron, I always appreciate you, and we do got to go grab lunch or something. When I'm back in town, we'll definitely grab lunch, and sometime sooner than later, before the spring showcases, if you can. Cool?
All right, we'll see you.
All right, buddy. You take care. I'll catch you next week for sure, and we'll plan out the show sometime this weekend. All right? All right. Talk to you later. Men lie, women lie, Gridiron don't. So, he's always taking care of the community and made sure that, everybody has gotten, fair coverage. Mostly in the 5 or 6A though, because he doesn't really dip down into the smaller schools, except for early in the season when it's time to dip down to the smaller schools. Your boy Chili, I'm going to make my way out of here because I got so much stuff to unpack in these pods and stuff. More shoes, just a couple more pairs. So other than that, I'm going to catch up with everybody. And I always appreciate everybody showing support, showing love. Hey, I appreciate the hate too, because without it, I don't know if people are really paying attention. And plus, it's way easier to hate, even if you got gratitude. So if you're one of those, it's cool. I'm not mad at you. Just keep trying to do your thing. Your boy Chili, I'm going to make my way out of here, though. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, @JustChili. TikTok, YouTube, Just Chili TV. Make sure that you guys stream the show on YouTube. Also, subscribe if you can. Show some love. Push the numbers. Other than that, Forks Up Forever. Yep.